And it looks like DarkTerrex about 8 seconds ahead of Prisiii, whose music we will be capturing for this. That 8 seconds should get sorted out through the course of this run. As you see, Terrex starting with Guts first, so he will not be worrying himself about a soft lock, going for that early Magnet Beam. Prisiii, on the other hand, former world record holder in this category, amazing 1 through 6 player, and he's going to be pulling out most of, if not all of the stops throughout this entire race. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, Prisii's not too big on safe strats. He learns the hardest things and just grinds them until he's consistent. Terrex has then put a lot of work into learning the other 6. He had some familiarity with all 6 just because of Mega Man Bingo, but with the 46 tournament rolling around, he's definitely put some time into these other games, as you can see.
There we see some use of the pause cancel here, the pause buffer, to deal with that, get rid of the knockback in Mega Man 1. A very useful tool that you have in this game and only in this game. You see some runners try to hit select when they hit that first crusher or that stomper in Mega Man 2, but only got it for Mega Man 1. So you got to make the most of it while you can.
Terrex is in some trouble here.
Yeah, his health is not great, but he is using that pause buffer to his benefit. Just has to have a couple timely dodges here.
As we saw from Terrex's last race, he is the master of clutch.
We've seen that
half of his fights one hit away from death.
We have seen that throughout so many races that the runners will come in with such limited health, or will get down to 1 or 2 hits, or 1 to 2 health, and still somehow manage to pull it out. You always love to see that.
Yeah, not me. If I have a chance of dying, I want to die. Find a way. Cut fight's pretty simple compared to the Guts Man fight. There's definitely a lot of timing involved in the Guts Buster fight.
Right.
Because he freezes you every time he lands, so you want to jump just before that. The timing window for that is not actually as big as you would think. Like, you have to jump just before he lands.
Now, as DarkTerrex goes to Cutman with the aid of the Super Arm, it's off to Electman for Prisiii, going for the early Magnet Beam, which you just saw him practicing, and it looks like he's actually going to be doing the high exit, which is going to save him a little bit more time if he can execute it very quickly. But of course, he still has to avoid the potential soft lock. He goes too far into the cell in which the Magnet Beam is located.
Yeah, Elect definitely has a couple important tricks to it. Obviously, the Magnet Beam is the big one, because the soft lock will cost you a few minutes. But he's probably going to do this left side corner jump too. That one can cost you a good 12 seconds if you fail it.
And there we see him practicing as you did for that the ladder grab.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well. You got to wait around there anyway.
Right? Yeah, I was just waiting anyway, so I figured, let's see how my ladder grabs are working. Nice corner jump. Terrex is really low on health. You can see him kind of waiting out a Susie cycle there to make sure he didn't take damage. He's got the big health here, if he can just make it there.
Yeah, he has to get it, because you don't know what the Eye Stomper is going to do. Ooh, and the cutter came down towards him, but he got it at the last moment. And now he has plenty of health to suffer a hit from the Stomper coming up. Prisiii grabbing that ladder super quick. And he is over and out. He goes for the low escape, no problem there.
Yeah, very solid grab. That's the type of grab where you're definitely saving time over Guts first.
Yes.
So then the next thing for Prisiii is the boss corridor climb. We saw him practicing that before the race started. If you get hit at the wrong time, you can fall quite a distance.
Yeah, you can easily lose a lot of time in that corridor, and a lot of damage as well if you're taking you're just off a little bit, taking damage from the electrical beams.
Ooh, the finishes his fight with 5 health in classic Terrex style.
Stomper not cooperating for Prisiii, so his health is low.
Take 2 hits from these beams here,
and you can take 0 hits from Electman.
Right. Okay, so he's gonna actually go for the slower climb here, probably because of his health.
Right. We say it so often through... Oh, and then he gets knocked down right there on the second screen.
Oh man, it's such a patience test.
It is. Because the first thing you react with is, I gotta get back up there as quickly as possible. And you can't really speed it up all that much other than, you know, placing those magnet beams again. But then you're risking your health, and with him down to, it appears to be 4 health, that's... You gotta be real careful with how you choose to proceed.
Yeah, there's something really weird about how the light beams work too. Like, they just last a little longer than you expect them to. Either because they're off cycle from each other, or because of the sound effect not like going as long as the beam does. Like, there's something about it that just makes you want to go early.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Terrex is gonna go right side. He, I think Baron timed this to be about 4 seconds slower. It's actually not that easy to get on the first Yoku block.
It's not, and you actually saw him wait for the second cycle of the first Yoku block.
Yeah, and I think it's another 4 seconds on top of that for like another Yoku block cycle to come around.
Of course, 8 seconds compared to 12 seconds time loss if you miss the corner jump. You know, that kind of comes out in favor if you're not comfortable with that corner jump.
Definitely. It looks like Prisiii has the pixel here.
It looks like it.
For the, for the zip across
there it goes.
The water. Very nice.
Oh, and quick setup for the second zip. Beautiful.
Wow, this is a great start to Ice. Ice is probably, I don't know, this is the stage I feel myself practicing the most in Mega Man 1. There's just so much time savings to get if you do it properly.
Yeah, it was definitely one that, and I don't do all of the zips because I'm kind of lazy with some of them, but when I was getting that muscle memory down, it was always, let's do Ice, and then everything else will kind of sort itself out. But you see Prissy just getting all the zips in here, getting down, despawning the Stomper. Expert job out of Prissy, as you'd expect.
One beam left for... Oh, I didn't get it. And I think like each quarter zip saves 3 seconds. There's just like, there's so much time to get in Ice. And there's like so many things you have to do pixel perfect. And
we've seen a bit of a renaissance in Mega Man 1 recently. You know, kind of started by White Hat, becoming only the second person to get a sub 19 in Mega Man 1, and then Dexter reclaimed the record, bopping Cool Kid's time that looked for a while to be really, really tough to surpass. Cool Kid jumping back in the game, and then Andy, I believe yesterday or the day before, getting himself a sub 19. So things are happening in the Mega Man 1 scene lately, that's for sure.
Yeah, 1 has been very, very active. Like, I'm not sure what brought on this recent, you know, spurt of progress in the game. But yeah, there's just been a lot of people playing it and playing it very well.
Terrex now with plenty of health, he's going to use the pulse buffer too, no problem dealing with Elecman.
A comfortable boss fight.
Yeah, no scares that time.
Oh, is he did this wrap up?
Yeah, no problem for him. Just nailing everything at this point. Oh, looked for a second like he got sub-pixeled, but no, he was fine.
I want someone that knows more about this game to explain that to me. You know, sometimes you'll get it on the first try, sometimes you won't get it at all, but then there's times where you'll jump and miss twice or 3 times, and then you'll get it after that. I'm not really sure how that works. I'm told if you do a full jump onto the beam, like, you don't get sub-pixeled, but I don't know.
Yeah, I've encountered all 3 as well, and I don't know either. I just know that when you get sub-pixeled, you want to scream, throw the game across the room. You know, you got options.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it happens on that that first ice wrap, and then you have to do the Yoku block section.
Yeah,
huge time loss.
That may have happened to me in my race last night.
Oh, I was worried for Terrex there too.
Yeah, Terrex made it though. He got it all sorted. And meanwhile, Prissy extinguishing a fireman. They're always flame man, but no, fireman.
That was a good fire stage for him. He's flying through right now.
In the early goings, he is just barely ahead of his splits.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you take the Elec corridor out, this is a very good Mega Man 1 for him.
Not dealing with these fleas. They can be pretty annoying if you miss a shot on them. They tend to want to follow you as far as they can.
Yeah, and then like every time they jump, like if they're at the edge of the screen, that you could despawn them, or they could jump all the way across the screen at you. So it's hard to know whether you should try to turn around and kill them or like,
Right.
just keep walking. I've made a lot of bad decisions with the
It seems like kind of whatever you choose is always the wrong way to go as well.
That seems exactly right. We saw Prisiii also practicing the zip to the ladder here. See if he's able to.
Oh, places it
So
just
he's
a little
going
bit
for it
too
the other
high
way.
there. Right.
Okay. Yeah, we saw him actually practicing it with the ice pixel before the race started, but there he did it by trying to do it on the run. Wow, that's unfortunate. He got knocked down, but his pixels, like he's just been hitting that every time.
I mean, I still think he saved time over having attempted to do the ladder setup, even with that knockdown.
I think so too. As you can see, there's a lot of zips you can set up with that same pixel. You just jump and place that short beam, and then you can...
Yeah, once you have that muscle memory, that it's such a powerful tool to have throughout the game for setting up zips.
Terry's having a little trouble with this zip. It's a zip that kind of happens automatically if you set it up right, but
Right.
you either have to fall off the beam or do a full jump off of it. But if you clip the ledge on the way down, then you don't have the fall speed you need to plummet through the floor.
DarkTerrex is going to set this up. Of course, a little bit of danger associated with the zip. When you die, you go back to the previous checkpoint. But he's no problem for TerreX at all.
He has a really safe setup where he turns to the right just after starting the zip, and then you have all day. You can just jump out. And so he doesn't run the risk of hitting the bullet and getting knocked down or anything like that.
Oh my!
I recommend if people learning
That's set up by Prisiii, where he fell on the second moving platform. Oh my goodness! It's so dangerous looking.
A little too high, but that was pretty.
And I don't know if he has the pixel here or not. It looks like he might have it. Oh no, he didn't. He jumped too early.
Oh, did he jump?
Or yeah, he jumped and got the spikes.
See, I thought you could screen wrap there.
I don't. If there's spikes at the bottom of the screen, I guess not.
You definitely can screen wrap there.
Oh, weird.
I'm just not sure why that one didn't.
Maybe it was like just that particular spot was no good.
I think there's like one pixel there that if the beam is on it, you jump and die. I think almost every other one you screen wrap. That said, I don't know. I'm constantly rediscovering all the things I don't know about Mega Man 1.
Yeah, Mega Man 1 is a fascinating game with as broken as it is. There's so much trouble that you can get into, both good and bad in this game.
But yeah, if I had that same pixel, I probably would have tried to do the same thing Prisiii did and suffered the same result. Some of this knowledge comes with, if you're a Mega Man 1 runner and you've done, RTA of this for months, you just know all these little ins and outs of it. Whereas some of us that, know Mega Man, but haven't necessarily put the time into these games that, a main runner of this would have. You find yourself kind of running afoul of some game mechanics you weren't 100% on.
Right.
You know, but you don't know thoroughly. I find that happening in Mega Man 2 during the tournament a lot.
For you, or for other people?
For myself, yeah.
Really? That's interesting, because of course you competed in the Mega Man 2 tournament and you went very, very far in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but yeah, I was constantly running across things that I didn't know, and then when you have to do a backup and you don't know what the mechanic is in the first place, like you know the fastest way, and you know maybe the most common, or couple common backups, but then something happens that you've just never seen before.
That's one of the great equalizers in this tournament, being able to improvise when you go off script, so to speak.
So yeah, Prisiii moving on from Mega Man 1.
TerreX about to do the same.
Yeah, they're neck and neck right here. Obviously finishing with different robot masters because they took different routes. We see Prisiii swaps a little faster being on emulator. TerreX had a very good Mega Man 1. He's ahead of his PB there.
Gold split on the game swap as well.
Right? That's the important one. I'm pretty sure we see TerreX doing Mega Man 2 normal here. Yeah. and then Prisiii always doing Rockman 2.
Oh, yes.
With the double health of every enemy. I mean, I guess you could say the Mega Man 2 normal is half health, because really...
Right. Yeah, because that's... It should be easy in normal mode, not normal and difficult. We all understand
it's
that,
the intended way to play the game.
Sure.
Of course. Speaking as a snob, but I played Mega Man 2 normal for as long as I could.
Right.
But that was a really impressive fight from Prisiii. I
very
really
slick.
Liked that one.
Yeah, you saw him do that little moonwalk there.
That's a very uncommon fight. You don't like. There's a standard Rockman 2 flash fight that you see from most of the elite runners.
Yes.
And Prisiii has a little different one there, which is pretty flashy. Looks to me just as fast, if not maybe even a little faster. I'd be curious to time it. Because, like, in the normal fight, it seems like you wait a little bit in the corner and you're not getting hits in.
Right.
I could be wrong. It didn't seem like he had to wait when he went under it, but it might be. It's probably exactly the same because it's the same mechanic.
It'd be interesting to see as well if maybe that's a little bit easier, at least for some people, to execute on, because the intended 14-hit setup on Flash is pretty demanding timing-wise. You have to be really precise to get that done before he flashes you. So just by doing something a little bit differently, as you saw Prisiii do, maybe for some people who are struggling with that might be something they could look into.
Yeah, and a lot of new strats come about in speed games just from somebody not being able to do the main strat and finding something else.
And here we'll see the first zip of Mega Man 2. Placed off the ladder, waits for it to fall to his desired height, and away he goes. And it's onto the Yoku blocks.
With the get weapon sequence.
Yep, 42.66 seconds, extended time. The Terrex over Prisiii.
It is 1 literal minute from the time you kill the boss to the time that you get control of Mega Man in the next stage in Mega Man 2 normal. And so that's why when you see Rockman 2, those are Prisiii blocks. Nickname given by Zoda for very slow, safe Yoku blocks. For anybody that doesn't know. So, Terrex going air second here. We're seeing a divergence in the routes again, although this time it won't be for the whole game. The routes will sync up after three Robot Masters in this one. So He-Man can give 30, 60, or 90 frame charges. Prisiii getting a lot of 30s here. Not many 90s at all.
And no issue for Prisiii making it through Heatman. As Terrex opting to go with the safer route, to go over the Lightning Lord Cloud platforms without using Item 1, going air second. That'll allow him to use the Item 2 to get over that Yoku block section a little bit faster than Prisiii was able to. But overall, going fast air will save you time if executed properly. Here we see that initial Flash setup that we see so many runners go with. A couple different choices there, but Flash is the most standard, particularly in a race. Switching to his Item 1s, he will set up fast air.
I feel went faster than it.
It's alright, we held it down for you.
Nice. Nice fast air.
And he's got plenty of health. He actually did very well to avoid taking any extra hits there. And comes out of it with half health. That'll be sufficient to get through Airman.
Yeah, basically, if you can just do a corner jump on one of the cloud platforms, and the last one works pretty well.
Yes.
It's not too hard to set up. Then that'll give you 14 health, and even if you have the worst possible airman pattern, he'll do 12 damage. You'll get hit once per cycle. So it's pretty important if you're learning a granny setup to try to figure out somewhere where you can avoid damage. Or in Mega Man 2 normal, you're really likely to get a health drop in the screen.
Right. At least one. Sometimes you're like, okay, enough. I'm good on health. Please, stop.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do fast air. There's fast air, and there's fast slow air, and there's granny air, and there's...
Right.
Apparently there's distinctions between all those, I don't know.
Really, however works for you. I mean, you're going to save time over not doing it if you can get through it without too low of health, so you got options.
Yeah.
And Prisiii did, in fact, take a few hits there, but that health being what it was, no problem.
The thing to note is that Airman himself actually does 8 damage, I believe. So if he jumps across the room and you're not, like, in the corner,
right,
he will probably kill you.
Yeah, it's bad news. See Terrex setting up the zip here. Oh, but he's facing the wrong way on the ladder, so he has to turn around.
Left here.
There he goes.
That's the so that jump on item 3 to lower it is actually the old setup. I think when I first was watching Mega Man 2 runs, that's how everybody set it up, rather than re-grabbing the ladder and just letting the item 3 go down.
Right. And there we see that item 2. See you later, Yoku Blocks. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get that one up, but depending on what zips he chooses to go with. I know he tries, I believe he tries Goodwood.
Oh,
so.
man.
Oh!
Not quite.
Not quite getting there.
Got
so
everything except the very last part. He just didn't get over.
He's going to be rapping 5 times, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen this. Although that kid, there he goes. So he's just going to climb up here instead. And you see he's already got his heat out, so he'll begin charging that, and then drop down the ladder, let go, and he'll immediately respawn at the next checkpoint.
Yeah, it's so, like, you probably save, like, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds with that setup that he was trying to do on the first screen over just the normal second screen setup. And then if you miss it like he did, you probably lose 7 or 8 on the second screen setup. So, you know, if... in a general sense, you probably would want to be, like, at least 75% successful on that to want to really risk doing the first screen zip, which, you know, a lot of these runners really are.
I suspect Prisiii is 75% successful. That was just the 25% right there. Had a little moment there where he set up that item 3 for the climb, but no problem otherwise.
Yeah, the goal there with the fast climb strat he's doing is to try to get 3 item 3s, but I think he came in too high on the first one, so his item 3 didn't despawn quick enough. Nice fight.
Yep, the double shot. Get 2 hits from the first one, polished him off with the second. Best you can hope for in Rockman 2. Of course, we see DarkTerrex going with the alternate setup for the more common setup for the zip, where he'll wrap this screen that he's on right now twice, switch over to heat, and again, fire it off as he drops down, and immediately respawn at the checkpoint. Prisiii foregoing that one up. He has an extra life right now. That's all he will need, assuming nothing goes wrong, to set up that Goodwood later. There are 2 built-in deaths when you do the normal zips throughout Mega Man 2. You saw one in Crash just now from both runners, and then again in Woodman stage when you do the Goodwood zip. Interesting setup there by Prisiii. Very quick to get his item 1s in place. Turns the lights back on, so we can expect to see that potential soft lock zip coming up at the end of this drop here.
Yeah, you'll definitely see it there. So, like, turning the lights back on, it takes as long as it takes to turn around and turn back. It's like probably 20 frames, it's not a ton. Most of the people will actually make that time back just from having better ledge jumps here, because you can see where you're going. I mean, unless you're an expert at falling in the dark, usually you're going to make it up back there. But then the real benefit is just being able to see what you're doing for this zip here. Alright. They're not soft locking.
Nope, no soft lock. Gets into that gate very well, and he is on to the Quickman fight. 7 hits from the Crash Bomb on Rockman 2.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of pin him into the explosion as well.
Yeah, if you're lucky, he'll just kind of jump and stay in the corner. You can get 4 or 5 free hits in. But since you only have exact ammo to kill him, it can be pretty dangerous to miss one. So to really play that fight safe, you end up costing a lot of time because you don't want to risk missing. That's one of the fights that's drastically different from Mega Man 2 and normal to Rockman 2. Like it's possible to lose a lot of time there. Here comes the hardest zip in the game. Good setup. Now we see Terrex doing quick. He's gonna take the 1-up. I wonder if he's tried to grab the 1-up in heat, since he planned to get the 1 here in quick.
Yeah, I always assume that if you're going for item 2 there, your intention is to get it. Of course, you have to set the item a little bit lower than just standing on top of that little platform right when you go for the item placement. You want to kind of clip through that little one-tile platform that immediately precedes the lava section. So he was just a hair higher than that.
Terrex setting up this zip, no problem. He actually says he feels more comfortable doing this without the lights.
Yeah, I understand that. I always feel when I watch you or Prissy do that with the lights on that, and there's got to be a better way to phrase that, that there's just seeing you go in between those platforms is a little bit disconcerting to me. So I'm just like, I'll just memorize it. I'll do it in the dark. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Really, it's just one screen, and then you wrap back to
it. I know,
yeah.
But you get so comfortable with a certain way.
He's
yeah.
like, you know what? The platforms confuse me. Like, I'd rather just memorize it.
Right.
And so, yeah, no, I get that.
You see Terrex foregoing the zip setup again. That's like really the only potential soft lock. I mean, there's a couple other options, but they're very less likely than that zip if you overshoot the corridor, the entrance to the corridor.
Definitely the recommendation, and this was pointed out during the Mega Man 2 tournament a lot, is if you're not gonna do the zip, you should just switch straight to crash and just take the damage boost. But then you're risking running low on health for quick man. So a little mini zip for Prissy. This should be enough, I think. He definitely didn't zip the length of it, but no, he just missed it. I would have gone for it too. I thought he had it. But he just needed to walk like one more tile, and the dog would have spawned, but spawned behind him, and he would have been able to walk through. Prissy in the throes of Goodwood. The only real scary part there is the extended zip to the ladder. The rest of it is not too challenging. It's really just a memory test.
Yeah, it's one of those things that looks impressive and impossible to figure out, and then once you understand how little actually goes into it, it's like you say, you just have to memorize it, and then it's just rote execution every time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really daunting zip to learn, and it saves a lot of time. So
right.
One of the first things you want to learn, but there's just a lot happening.
Yeah, there's a little, like, all this minutia to it, but it's all really easy moves. Like, oh, now is when you want to switch to quick boomerang. Oh, you want to switch to heat here so you can extend the zip. Oh, make sure you are, jump 3 times real quick and then hold upright. All that sort of stuff. That's not immediately obvious. Nothing's really immediately obvious with the wood zip. It's like, what the hell? Why are you in the ceiling? Why are you in the floor? None of this makes sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, why you switch to quick and why you switch to heat are not necessarily obvious. Like, you can learn the zip and learn all the inputs to do, but then not really understand the mechanics behind it, and then something goes wrong and you're not sure. Like, let's say you go to wood and you don't have quick. Like, you're expecting to set up the zip the same way, but the quick is absolutely integral to it.
Yeah, either that or you're good at Mega Man 1 and you can execute the same one-frame ladder grab as you do in Mega Man 1.
Exactly.
Which I did see Toad do in his PB of Mega Man 2, so
yep.
It is possible.
Yep, he's got those Mega Man 1 roots.
Yes, he does. He's a very talented fella.
Prissy on Team B Trigger.
Yeah, 100%. And there he goes. No problem. See you later, Spikes. He says it is easier than the A trigger.
I agree. 100%.
I understand why you say that, but it's also much more dangerous because if you are just 1 pixel off, you are going to go into that spike.
An A-trigger does not carry the risk of a game over. I will grant you that.
Yeah. Which again, you know, you're not as far in as you could be, but you are you're basically 2 games down at this point. So to the extent that you can avoid game overing and costing yourself about what would you say, about a minute 15 seconds, it's nice to be able to avoid that.
Sure.
But as with all tricks, the ones you're comfortable with,
it really boils down to, can you hit like a 10-frame window?
Right. Yeah.
Which most people can, but again,
oh yeah.
You know,
I mean, hey,
or being if you're not confident in the trick, you should not be going for it.
Hey, I mean, 6 frames, as we learned for the platforms. Now that it's 6 frames and 6 frames, that's free. So obviously 10 frames is free. So everyone go for B trigger too. Platforms and B trigger, or get out.
I think everybody should go for platforms as well. Especially people that are against me in the tournament.
That's right. Let me switch over to Mega Man 3 here for Prissy, and as he begins with Top Man, the fastest route officially.
Absolutely. Prissy doesn't do slow strats.
No,
except for Prissy blocks. All right. You see in Mega Man 2 normal, Terrex can just use heat to one-shot Woodman. I actually think that air is about as fast in normal, but heat is much simpler. I'm not sure. I think the fights are really close in normal.
I know certainly in the refight, you can save time with air. And part of that has to do with, if you do that fight right, you get to keep your menu on air for, I think, 3 boss fights, coming out of Crash, going into wood, and then going into air for possible wood setup.
So those cats take 10 hits to kill. But
right.
on the second cat there, Prissy jumped and put 5 bullets on the first jump, and then shot 8 times on the second one. Killed him with 5, and then shot 3 lag bullets.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's some serious mashing right there.
That's a lot of mashing. It's too much mashing.
Is that teeth mashing we're seeing in effect?
That might be the teeth mashing, legendary teeth mashing that everyone's heard about but nobody's seen.
I know he claims to use that on the proto fights as well. So we'll see
it's
that.
Interesting seeing the different top fights, but yeah, 4 cycles pretty gross, Prissy. Okay, Terrex on Team A trigger. Getting close to wrapping up Mega Man 2 here himself. I think. Good wood. Yeah.
Yep. He's on his last Robot Master. So keeping it a pretty tight race, in fact.
Maybe Prissy should learn Magnet first. Top first looks like it's too difficult.
I just want to have the opportunity to say thanks for Magnet first, because that made me actually want to learn Mega Man 3 a little bit.
Oh, man. You know what? It's really cool to see. So, like, okay, for 46, there's 40 people that are doing 46, and a lot of them have not played Mega Man 3 before, and they need to make the choice. What route am I going to run? There's, like, 3 solid ones.
Right.
To see how many people picked up Magnet was really, really cool, but also just really interesting to see, you know, what everybody chose to do.
Well, that was always the route I started with as a child. That seemed like the easiest way to go. So when I got into speedrunning Mega Man 2, and then I, tiptoed into Mega Man 3, it's like, oh, Gemini first, no thanks. And then along comes this guy named Facet CC, he's like, here's another way. And it warmed my heart.
That's why I did Magnet first, is because that's how I played it as a kid. So. But Mega Man 3 is, like, there's a lot of different viable routes just because of first of all, how the weakness order breaks down. There's a lot of soft weaknesses. There's 2 different weakness chains. But unlike the other games where I just want to watch Prissy do the Prisiii section, this is, like, kind of a defining section of top first. And so he did it safe. He didn't get a lot of good spawns, and then his rhythm kind of got off a little bit. You can actually jump from platform to platform without slowing down. But it's really difficult, and just the fact that he avoided the death there is impressive enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the 2 different weakness chains. It's not just, you kill one and then you use a weakness chain of 8. There's like 2 separate ones. And then the menu is so fast in this game that it gives you an opportunity to actually use the weapons you're picking up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, as people are getting used to Mega Man 3, it's very easy to complain about the menu. But as you say, once you know where things are and how to negotiate the menu, then you can go through it pretty quickly.
Just kind of struggling with the Yoku block puzzle here. So this is the slow part of Magnet first.
Right.
Is you have to actually wait out these Yoku blocks. Any other route you do gets jet for this one. This route, you kind of make up some of the time with the fact that you get Shadow Blade early, and that works really well. Like, you basically just have better weapon weaknesses for the bosses. And Magnet is a powerful weapon. You get to use that in some stages that you wouldn't have otherwise. But Top kind of combines the best of Gemini and Magnet First. It just ends up being a few seconds faster. It cuts out a lot of the RNG that Magnet First has. Magnet First, the RNG comes in this fight, which you'll see here. You want to damage boost him as much as possible. And so you need to bring a lot of health into the fight. But if he jumps, you just gotta wait him out. There's nothing you can do about that. And so Terrex getting a slow pattern right here. The other thing regarding RNG in the Magnet route is that you're using Magnet a lot, and you open yourself up to the potential of a lot more drops. Terrex missing some hits there and getting an extra jump.
And not ending the fight while he's in the center of the screen, which will cost him a little bit on the animation after the fight. How important is it to chase that center positioning at the end of a fight? Should you try to wait to get that last hit and make sure you're in the center, or should you just get the last hit as quickly as possible, regardless of your location?
In some cases, there's at least 2 fights where I'll delay a hit to kill the boss in a better place. To avoid, actually not so much to avoid the walk to the middle, which if you're walking from the wall to the middle, that's like a full second. But actually the victory fanfare in Mega Man 3 doesn't start until all the boss's explosion leaves the screen. So if you kill them in the center, those will leave sooner. So a lot of times you'll delay to kill the boss closer to the center. You'll let them go through their pattern because their bubbles travel slower than they do.
So a lot happened. I mean, Prisiii had almost perfect blocks over.
That's a gutsy fight with the amount of health he had. That's a great fight.
Wow, and an excellent fight. Terrex trying to despawn that last bee by scrolling off the screen, but it did not quite go away, so he saved 2 bees on the screen. No big deal for him. Used Magnet Beams on the first 2, though.
Oh, you see how slow those monkeys are if you don't kill them. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, casually, as a kid, those monkeys gave me nightmares. They're fast, and they just like to knock you off ladders.
Oh, yeah.
But using coil helps you get away from them, too. Now you get the Met Dozers up here. Possible hitbox. Yeah, you can see Terrex gave enough shots to that middle dozer to kill him, but just the hitbox didn't accept them all. And so, yeah, he got hit by 2, took 12 damage. Those guys are no joke.
I see Prisiii now, by virtue of not having yet defeated Magnet Man, having to use his Buster here.
Oh. So Prisiii jumped to manipulate the Dragonfly to spawn higher. Prisii's Dragonfly, and he got hit by him anyway. Oh man, I'm glad that happened. Commentating this was worth it. Just to see that happen. I give him a hard time about that one all the time. The Hammer Joes there with Gemini Laser are not super easy. Like the Porcupine and the Gemini Laser kills, or the Hammer Joe kills are not that easy. In Magnet, you deboost the Porcupine and kill the Hammer Joes with Magnet, which is really easy. But the strats here are a little tougher.
Terrex playing it safe on hard, man, gets the job done.
No duo lasers from Prisiii. Got dual weapon get. There's nothing happening there.
That's right. It's on the top man for DarkTerrex.
Yeah, so he's gonna come at it with an arsenal of weapons. We saw it Buster only first. There's actually a lot of different ways to do your weapon routing in this stage. And so we'll see what Terrex chooses to do here.
Of course, as you mentioned, we're gonna see Prisiii being able to use the Rush Jet coming up to go over the Yoku block section here.
Just want to watch Prisii's proto fight here.
That's right.
Usually really good. Ugh. Right wall. It's a good fight. His one in Shadow is actually better than that, but yeah, his smashing is solid. Okay, so it looks like Terrex is going to go with the standard weapon swap of Magnet right before the first cat. Magnet takes out the cats really quickly. He's a little worried about his health right now. You can see him trying to avoid damage. Ooh, so one of the Magnus actually tracked a yarn ball there. So he's 1 ammo down. So yeah, he's saving his ammo there because you have enough to kill. Okay, both cats and the top dispenser with magnet, and actually have 1 left over. But if you hit yarn balls, or there's actually a rare thing where like 2 magnets can hit on the same frame, and then you don't get damage there.
Oh wow.
Did Prisiii just kill the missile with a shadow blade while deboosting? I have not seen that. I'm not sure if there's any lag there and if that's actually faster, but that was swag and nothing else. He gets the good pattern. That was a really good magnet fight.
Very quick.
Prisiii with the gold magnet. Summer best 139.
Oh my.
Terrex gets the 2-cycle, which with hard knuckle, there's a couple different ways to do that fight. That's much faster than letting him go to a 3rd cycle. If you're kind of specific about your hard knuckles, you can actually fire 1 and then slide to the center before it hits. But if you're feeling a little slow, or if you're not, quite happy, if you don't, for whatever reason the fight's not working out right, you can actually just stand right next to him and just put 3 quick ones into his hitbox and kill him before he goes invincible again.
Well, we see Prisiii miss a menu there, go to Rush Jet when he wanted Rush Coil.
I mismenued there in my run as well. Cost me 2 seconds. So you see here a little difference with him killing the first monkey. There's a lot less lag because the monkeys aren't chasing you across the screen. Terrex in my favorite room of the game, but it's really difficult, and if things go wrong, they can get really ugly because there's just a lot of enemies, there's a lot of lag, and if you miss enemies and go past them, like, it's almost better to turn around and kill them, but then turning around and killing them in the lag can be difficult, and so a lot of runners will ask, like, where should I focus on? And like the dark room is one of those places that, like, compared to the best strats, a lot of people are losing 6-7 seconds there every time through. It's a really difficult room to do properly.
Question for you from chat. Cassia Third asks, is it faster to slide off 2-tile platforms or jump?
Slide off 2-tile platforms or jump. It depends on if you're going horizontal or vertical. So this basically works for any platform you slide off in Mega Man 3. In Mega Man 3, unlike the other ones, you hang really far off a ledge before you fall. And you want to, if you're going down to the next screen, you want to accelerate your fall by not hanging that far off the ledge. You want to just go right around the corner. So if you're going down, you want to jump off a ledge. If you're continuing horizontal movement, it really doesn't matter what you do, because you're going to keep the same movement no matter what. The only time you want to jump down from a slide when you're continuing horizontal is if it gives you the ability to do another slide that you wouldn't otherwise. The magnet first screen is a good example of that, and then the top screen right before the second cat is another one, where like you're extending your slide on another platform by jumping. Sorry, complicated answer to a simple question.
That's what you guessed when you asked the champ. Knows a thing or two about this game. You see DarkTerrex onto Gemini Man. A lot of people's least favorite stage. It's got a pretty nasty checkpoint to start off with. You have to go pretty far into the level to get that checkpoint, to not have to go back to the beginning. We see him switch to Magnet Missile here. That's going to make quick work of these satellites and of the penguins. Save him a little bit of time.
Yeah, Gemini, really difficult stage, and how much you like it probably depends on how much work you put into it, because at first it's really difficult and not fun, but I think it's probably my favorite overall stage in the game right now. There's just so much to do in it, it's so active.
Yeah. You see Terrex there spawning those 3 tadpoles to avoid the tadpoles right in his way as he makes his way up through the eggs. Yeah,
there can actually only be 3 tadpoles on the screen at once, which is why you see him do that. it stops you from having to shoot extra buster shots because of new tadpoles forming, but it also, not killing tadpoles means there won't be drops in your way. Terrek's probably going to take the health here.
Yeah, it got pretty low.
Is he taking the blocks? Is he going Rush Marine?
Oh, dial it in.
Right.
1-800 R Marine.
What a guy. So, the best part of Rush Marine comes here, where you jump out of the water.
So good.
The cool thing about this is, like, if you get hit in midair, like, you're fine. You just get, frozen. Right. There's no knockback when you're in Rush Marine either. So, like, let's say you're sitting on one of those platforms and you get hit. You'll just stay exactly right where you are. So, ironically, Rush Marine is a lot safer on land than he is in the water, because if you try to keep him in the water, bad things can happen. All the enemies are down there.
Yeah.
A lot of people I see like try to pause and switch to the E-Tank while in Rush Marine. Which is
no, don't do that.
Bad idea.
You can't get back into it before you die.
So Terrek's using one of his 3 E-Tanks here on the Gemini fight. I know he was considering doing Gemini first, just because he likes the Gemini Buster fight more than the Shadow Buster fight.
Really?
Or sorry, the Shadow Blade fight with Gemini. If nobody's seen the Gemini Buster fight, it's actually pretty slick.
Yeah.
Where you just get in the middle of the screen and just like fire both directions as fast as you can.
Wiggle mashing.
Yeah, but a really pretty Shadow Blade fight, as we saw in Prisii's stream, is probably just as impressive, I think.
I want to ask you, because we've seen McRavenator twice soft lock in Gemini Man stage. Do we know why that happens? What causes that? How to avoid it? Because it seems odd that the same person would do it twice. Because it's kind of a rare thing, isn't it?
It's rare, but like there's the thing is that we haven't really been able to replicate it. It has to do with how you exit phase 1 of the fight into phase 2. It's like kind of killing him in a specific way. So like some people will never see it because they just don't fight him that way. Whereas other people are probably more apt to see it. But I haven't been able. It's one of those things that I just wish didn't exist, because I wish I had advice for new runners. But like I just have not been able to duplicate the glitch. I've only had it happen to me once.
So basically, learn how to fight him properly, and
just get good. And then
all right, great. Well, you heard it from the champ, folks.
That was the
good at Mega Man 3.
That was the old strat for. That was the old strat for not getting flashed by Centaur too. Is just do the fight properly, and he'll never flash you until we actually figured out what caused it. But yeah, Prisiii did really well with 3, moving on to 4. Actually, both runners doing really well. Not a lot of big mistakes.
No.
So Terrex can take 1 needle here in this fight. He can't take 2. He can't take a headbutt from needle either. Oh, this is not a good start.
There's 1.
See, he needs that Gemini laser.
Yep.
Yeah, he needed the laser to go away so he could E-Tank.
Right.
And so the Nadua laser there is the worst thing that can happen, because then you're stuck. Okay, solid fight the second time. By the way, the Nadua laser named after legendary speedrunner Nadua, who has never missed a laser in his life.
Never missed one. Never one.
Which is, I'm sure, why it's named after him.
Yeah, because he's the only person who's never missed one.
It's right.
I want to ask you about another started route that I think only one of the runners in the tournament does, but we love him because it's Infinite Mystery. Needle First. Tell me about Needle First in Mega Man 3.
Needle First has no real advantages other than the fact that it's fun. If you've ever done the Needle fight Buster only, it's actually a really fun fight.
It's a pretty demanding fight.
It's tough. But it's the most fun Buster fight of any of the routes, in my opinion. So I think a lot of people do it. One, it gives you Rush Jet early, but you don't really use that Rush Jet in any of the stages that you wouldn't, that you would need it for. Like, you might as well do Gemini and then do Needle second and just have Rush Jet, because you're not going to use Jet in Gemini anyway, most likely. And so it's one of those things that a lot of people do just because it's fun.
Right.
And yeah, Shadow Buster fight is fun as well, as Rupee says. So, you know, that's the reason to do Shadow. If you happen to just like the route, you know, even the fact that it's just slow and doesn't really offer any advantages, then yeah, that's fine. Mega Man 3 has a route for you, no matter what you like.
So Snake first, completely legitimate route, is what you're saying.
It's legitimate and extremely slow. But if you like grinding Snake Zip RTA, that could be a thing.
There you go.
Even if you get them, you're still probably 20 seconds behind the other routes, but you know, it's fine.
Well, Scrap was very excited to make Snake first a thing at SGDQ.
He was. And you know what? More power. You know what? So I've heard of Shadow first, I've heard of Needle first, I've heard of Snake first. The only route that I've not seen somebody, even as a meme, talking about is Hardman first.
Yep.
So someone needs to get on that, because that's the only route I've not seen anything of. If you like despawning bees, that's the route for you.
That's right. Who's going to pick up the mantle? Let's see. Early balloon. Or the balloon acquisition for Prissy there. He's going to teleport away to the checkpoint ahead. It's a nice little time savings you can get there.
Yeah, I believe the number is something like 9 or 10 seconds through like optimal balloon strats that you saved in the 8 robots, or something like that.
Yeah, primary usage on both Ringman and Skullman stage. And boy, it's a lot of fun when you make those work. Very satisfying to use those balloons properly.
Terex just has Spark left. Looking to be saving time on a third consecutive game to save time in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and when you find yourself up against someone on the level of Prissy, I mean, all you can do is your best. And I guess maybe hope that Prissy makes a mistake, but that's all you can just run your race as best you can. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. And you know, the cool thing about the pool play here is that seeding is done by like your average race time. So even if you're in a match where you know the outcome is probably not necessarily in a lot of doubt, there's a lot of incentive to try to just put the best race together that you can.
Yeah, that's the secondary tiebreaker is points, so to say. Challenge is weird with how it handles. Oh, we see it for Prissy. He gets the instant teleport out. So that'll be a little time saver there for Prissy. So if you jump at just the right height at the right moment in Pharaoh Man's stage after you kill him, then you will see that trigger early, and then you'll teleport out of the stage instead of collecting the power and seeing that entire animation play out. And yeah, I believe we are having a FasterNet issue right now, so we will get fast back in here.
Here we are.
There it is.
The fun part about FasterNet is then I have to like reload both streams.
Oh boy, that's fun.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
And here we see Prissy.
Oh, Terex.
Oh no! Oh, and you see the facepalm on his own webcam. Oh my goodness.
Rule of thumb for the last screen of Spark: if there is a elevator block, you want to walk off of it. If
Right.
there is a white block, you want to slide. And he jumped off of a white block, and that did not work out well for him. He could have just slid and made it. As a Mega Man 6 runner, so like that one right there.
Right.
As a Mega Man 6 runner, you look at that and you're like, I can't slide off of that. I'll go
Right.
off the ledge.
That's
and
a good
die.
point.
But in Mega Man 3, you hang off a little further, and that's a slide you can make. And so I find myself, when first learning 4 through 6, there was so many of those type of pits that I would try to slide over and just die and feel so dumb. Hey, he still gets this time savings in Mega Man 3, even with the late death there. So,
And it's off the Mega Man 4.
yes, sir.
And we'll see what he starts with. I believe he'll be starting with Bright. Pretty standard starter. Not only get a kind of not great stage, in my opinion, out of the way, but also you get the Flash Stopper right away. Such an overpowered tool throughout this entire run.
Absolutely. Bright and Pharaoh both really strong weapons, so
Right.
getting those two stages out of the way first makes a lot of sense. And the balloon. Like, you basically get the 3 most powerful things in the first 2 stages. Prissy has a lot of health for this fight. There's actually a slightly faster fight that you can do if you have enough health to take a D-boost, but
Wow.
don't know of too many people that do it.
That was a very quick fight.
Yes. See, that's how Ring is supposed to be done. But most people get there with 4 health, and if you make one mistake,
Right.
you're dead.
So you don't see them doing any deboosting at all, trying to save those shots or anything like that. They're just, I'm going to stay back, I'm going to hope for the best, let those rings fly, and just avoid them, and then we'll be cool.
Yeah, I don't recommend anybody trying to casual their way through that fight. Like if you're trying to learn 46, I know you have limited time, but I would definitely spend time in Ringman stage.
Yeah, because once you learn it, it's very easy. But when you don't know it, when you're not sure how to do it, it's pretty difficult to avoid those rings.
Yeah, and so once you learn it, I would agree that the timing windows for the inputs you need to make are not that specific. But there's a lot of little things that can go wrong in that fight that you don't realize until you've done it enough times. You have to make every mistake once. And there's a lot of those type of mistakes in the Ringman fight just because your margin of error is so slim. Prisiii using bright strats for the first half of Ring, which is pretty common for this tournament. I think I know Fatso uses Pharaoh. There's probably 1 or 2 others that I haven't seen, but it's a really difficult strat for very minimal time save. So Bright's a good choice there. Prisii's gonna be going for the fast crusher here. I think he's got a good start to it.
Oh yeah, there he goes.
Very nice. Very nice.
Just barely.
Yeah, I mean, you want to do that slide right when it's about to crush your head. That's actually like the proper way to do it. So you saw he got there and waited for it.
Right.
So you see Terrex fighting Brightman a little different than Prisiii did. Prisiii tried to stay up close and just jump the bullets at like,
and Terrex gets frozen there for a moment. So his
health
interview, not interval. I can't say interval. Not where it needed to be, but does not get stomped that second time. Does not die. No problem.
Yeah, he came into that fight with a lot of health, which is good. Right. Brightman does 8 damage, so if you take a lot of damage during the stage, you can't take much. So if you get flashed, it can mean death.
Oh my goodness! And Prisiii just cutting through Dustman like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, great fight, not a great pattern. Mega Man 4, like 3, you don't want to kill the bosses in the corner. You want to kill them close to the center of the screen, but there's nothing you can do about Dust. He's gonna end the fight where he wants to. And so he took the corner death, which, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how much it's slower, but it's probably like a second and a half, because the bubbles travel even slower in 4 than they do in 3.
Now it's on the Skullman stage where we're going to see a lot of use of that balloon again, and including the zip.
Yeah, Skull is my favorite stage in the 8 robots.
Oh, it's so much fun. Yeah.
Prisiii has a unique... Ooh, he didn't jump onto the balloon. So he's got to reset this one up. Got to just find the second time.
There you go. Getting that D-boost there, so critical to your survival. If you do not take damage while you're in the middle of that ceiling, you will die.
Oh, messed up his strat there. He balloons over the Skulljoes there, which is a pretty neat strat.
Yeah.
We kind of struggled with it there. He's taken quite a bit of damage in this stage. He's fine, but we'll see how nervous. A lot of people, when they have that amount of health...
Yeah, they'll go get that big health pickup, but he's like, nope.
Yeah, you'll see them alter their strats or play different. A lot of times it's better just to go with what you know.
And he dropping a big health, he says, nope.
Nope.
And in fairness, Skullman is a pretty darn easy fight. But you're...
Once you know what to do, absolutely.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. Oh, and there's the big health. Yeah. You're taking health!
No matter what.
And he gets a little one for good measure. So Prisiii, totally good shape now.
That's funny.
Oh, making that slide off the... That's a deceptively big jump there. There's a couple in Skullman stage, but no problem for Prisiii.
Yeah.
Gets the D-boost
that
back.
Last screen scares me. That jump for... I mean, that's a really long jump for a Mega Man game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have a ton of leeway to make it. Like, I would probably consider it like somewhat similar to like the Pharaoh jump you do to get the balloon, and that's like a bonus thing. Very nice fight for Prisiii. Kills him like almost dead center in the screen. Terrex looks like he might get a corner kill. Oh! Pharaoh decides to be nice. I mean, he jumps into him, and so he, delays the kill, but it's actually probably faster, even taking that hit to kill him up towards the center there. Does not look like a pixel. So in Mega Man 4, there's these magic pixels. Like, there's just one spot you can stand on, and you'll skip the jump up to get the get weapon animation. And in most stages, it saves about a second. Pharaoh, it saves a little less than that because you bonk your head on the ceiling. Dive an interesting stage because you can't jump out of your slides underwater.
Right.
So you kind of tailor your movement to that. You can play it really safe and just not slide a lot, or you can, you know, do some slide cancels. But the slide cancels aren't as smooth as they are in 6 because, you know, if you turn to cancel them, then you actually like walk back the other way, so it ends up being kind of slow. Whereas in 6, like anytime you cancel a slide, you just stop dead in your tracks.
Right. It's a little bit of a precursor to 6. Let me see.
Prisiii doesn't go for the full slide on that. So like the ledge where that met is, you can actually do a full slide across it and jump out of it, but Prisiii died there before, so playing a little safe, which, you know, it's really not a big time save, especially if you have to like slow down to set it up, so...
Terrex having a bit of a struggle to get up these rainbow platforms, getting that extended slide and going between the platforms, falling down a little bit. But he's through and he's over to the first hippo, got his Pharaoh out, and he'll be looking for a boost here. His health is fairly low, though.
Yeah, nice. Prisiii gets over on the second jump. That's impressive. That's good mashing. The climb to begin ring is not at all free with blue.
No.
It's very difficult to do correctly. And it's easy to take a lot of damage and lose a lot of time here. So Terrex probably gonna get the health drop here. But even that, like, that's kind of a trap. Because, like, you can get down there and then not get back up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can very easily die when you go to get that health.
You take, like, 2 more damage, like, 2 more hits, and then you're, like, back to the same health you were to begin with. Terrex with a nice kill from the wall. It's good to know how to do that. So, like, there's a faster strat where you get up right up in his face. And you get hit, and you can just take the damage and fall. But if you need to save health, it's nice to know...
Oh, my goodness, and Prisiii gets the other immediate teleport out. Oh my goodness, 2 in the same run.
Oh, okay, that's not a bad place to die for Terrex, assuming that's not a... I don't think that's a game.
Nope. He is back in it, and yeah, he starts right before the section he was at.
Yeah, like, right here. You know, when I die here, and I actually died here in my race, he switched to Bright, and then went back to Pharaoh.
Right.
I almost, if I have to make the menu anyway,
Oh, he gets that life right back, too.
Nice. This section feels a lot safer with Bright to me. Oh man. Yeah, that's a scary section, but at least it's the checkpoint. Like they had the decency to put that section at the checkpoint.
Yeah, that's a good checkpoint, I would say.
Yeah.
Taking that back boost there to get through without taking quite as much health. Of course, he has that Mega Man 6 skill where he can do that quick turnaround very well. Yeah. Used so often throughout Mega Man 6 and into the Ring Man fight.
I was going to say, the only thing I'd say is pretty mean about the checkpoint in Ring casually is you have to fight 3 mini-bosses before you get to it.
Right. But at least they're dead once you get there.
Yeah. Oh, this fight is so hard if it doesn't go perfectly. Those were some
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Wow. So Ring Man does 8 contact damage, and he was just running and stopped like an inch from Terrex's face. That definitely would have been a death. Wow.
But he made it work.
King of Clutch, Mr. DarkTerrex. We're gonna ignore the needle fight. Alright, we'll see what kind of pattern Prisiii gets from Drill Man here, or Dive Man.
Yeah, he can certainly be a troll.
If he does no extra dives, that's about like... that sucks.
Yeah.
It's about like 17 seconds faster than like the worst pattern he can give you. There's a lot of RNG in this fight. Every time he like goes down like that and pops back up, you can get at least 2 hits on him. Prisiii only got 1 the first time because he had one of those tracking missiles. This is 3 dives already.
Oh, Terrex tried to...
That's so unfair.
Yeah, he tried to jump underneath that ladybug. You really can't do that. You have to kind of take a deboost or wait until the time comes back in. And he tries to make that work and just does not quite make that jump.
Yeah.
And eventually, Prisiii is able to put Drill Man down. He finally cooperates. And indeed, he is the most divest of dive mans. And there we see Terrex that time getting off the platform before the ladybug can set into the improper position to block his jump. I always worry about this particular segment because oftentimes I will just kind of be casually resting my thumb on the right button to maneuver across, and I'll find myself sliding unintentionally into the spikes and getting very, very angry about what happened. We see DarkTerrex switching to the ring here as opposed to the Buster. Make it through the Crusher a little bit faster that way, but it looks like he's getting a little caught up as he goes through. He's going to have to wait this one out.
So if you, on that middle section of the Crusher, or like the second to last section, if you kill the second row of blocks from the top, you can actually stand underneath the top. Like,
Right.
it looks like it's going to crush you, but it doesn't. So it's a good one to clear, because that'll let you walk up right up to the edge.
Yeah. And then you can oftentimes make it under that last, I guess, non-destructible Crusher at the very end without having to stop your slide. You can just keep on rolling through.
Was that a Stomper manipulation from Terrex there? Did like a full jump right before the Stomper? Stomper jumped high.
It certainly looked like it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked cool if that was a thing.
Let's see how Dustman cooperates. Or
Prisiii killing a
chooses
bunch
not
of
to.
fish for no reason. His happy fish face.
Oh, what cooperation from Dustman? No
Nice.
sucking.
Yeah, Dust sucks. Dust is a really hard pixel to find. I can't tell from here if Terrex got it, but there's not like a really clean visual cue for it, or like not as easy. Especially if you have like kind of a blurry TV. It's like
Yeah, because you're kind of standing over a circle as opposed to a line that's going vertically.
Yeah, a lot of like the levels have like clean foreground lines.
Right.
You don't have to look at the background, but that's one where like I've always found myself having to look at the background. It was a lot easier to pick up on emulator than on a CRT.
And it's on to Mega Man 5 for Prisiii, as he is just flying through this race right now. He is, at present, just a minute over his PB right now.
Coming into the tournament, if you had to pick a best game for Prisiii, you'd probably say Mega Man 5. That might still be the case. It's hard to say because he put so much work into some of the other games. But
Yeah.
this is definitely was like his main game if he had one. He's always been kind of a jack of all trades. Terrex finding the joy of going through school. He's
Gets
gotta
that.
go get the milk.
Yeah.
Definitely not a bad idea.
No, it's important to be able to calm yourself down in situations like that where your health gets a little low. Knowing that health is there, it just gives you that little extra sense of comfort to help you get through what would otherwise be a really hectic progression through a stage.
Yeah. You can definitely find yourself playing different and playing worse when your health is low. Just,
Right.
Worried about things you wouldn't otherwise be, and then that causes you to get hit more, kind of paradoxically. Prisiii with not the strongest Starman stage by his standards. It's
see how
actually
this fight
really
goes.
tough. It's tough to get used to Mega Man 5 after playing 4. Like, they have very similar physics, but now you're going anti-gravity and, like, dealing with using the charge shot a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it can be kind of a jarring change to play 5 after 4, even though, again, like, mechanically, they play probably more similarly than any other two games in the series.
And Starman gets crushed. Prisiii is now onto gravity and has the super arrow, which he will be using with great relish throughout the rest of the game.
I think Mega Man 4... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just, there's just so much tech with the super arrow to take advantage of to save time throughout Mega Man 5.
Yeah, definitely a big part of the speedrun. And a lot of the arrow placements are not super easy to do. There's some precise setups you need. Once you learn them, it just makes a lot of these stages feel, it just flows a lot better. People kind of complain about the lag in Mega Man 3. Mega Man 5's answer to lag is just arrow over it. I think Mega Man 4 might kill Terrex's streak of saving time. Really tough game.
Yeah, it is not very forgiving if you make even a minor mistake.
It's true. Which one of you had the most trouble with?
Well, it kind of goes back and forth between 4 and like oddly 1 is, like in the tournament has given me weird problems. Like I consider 1 kind of like my de facto second best game after 2.
Okay.
But in the tournament, there's always been some dumb screw up. That like just makes no sense. So, but I would say like consistently 4 gives me the hardest time. But now I've been so focused on dealing like, okay, I know this is going to be a problem, so make sure I don't screw up here. That occasionally there'll be something in 5 that will go wrong as well. Because those are the 2 I've played the least out of the 6.
Gotcha. Terrex has a little cancel in front of the wire pit.
You don't want to get the wire. That's ill-advisable.
Not in this category, or just about any other category.
Nope. Don't do it.
Prissy going into Gyro, my favorite stage. Love this stage so much. Don't even care that I died there twice yesterday. A lot of super arrow tech here.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Oh, he barely makes it.
that was really interesting. So, I think, if someone can correct me if I'm wrong, what it looked like to me was that he was on the top pixel up there. You can't stand on that pixel, the arrow keeps clipping you off. It looked like he did a bunch of slides to save it.
I believe that's correct. It certainly sounded
If
like
that's
he was
the
doing a bunch
case,
of
I haven't
slides.
seen somebody else do that before. Because most people would just clip on that arrow until they fall and then go and place another one. It looks like he saved it with slides. If that's the pixel I think it was. Very nice checkpoint room for Prissy. And almost all of those blocks, you can get like one extra small slide at the end. And Prissy pretty much went for all of them. Why do people go up the right side? It terrifies me every time. Like,
I think it was to terrify you this time, actually.
I don't understand. Like, why? There's just one extra jump you have to do under the spikes. It's like needle first. It offers no advantages. Is it more fun? It must be more fun.
I mean, you know what? When you do an auto-scroller so many times, you just try to find some way anyway to make it a little bit unique. And so I guess that's it.
Yeah.
You add a little bit of spice to it.
There's actually some swag strat you can do in the auto-scroller, and I haven't seen it in so long I forget exactly how it's done. But like, you can actually have the one of the ledges like go through you. Like, you'll be underneath it and it'll like squish you, but then you'll pop up on top of it.
Oh wow. I'm definitely familiar with the squishing part of that. Not so much the surviving it and clipping up through it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're bored, you can figure out how that works and have yourself a ball. Go for it.
It definitely focused more time on that than learning like really high level aero tech or, you know, proper movement through the stages or, you know, suffering the power stone and the dumb charge man fight.
Terrex with a nice safe 2 bright last drill room. That room can be pretty scary actually.
Oh yes.
The better your movement is, the safer it is, just because of how the flash stopper works. Because the timer for the enemies being frozen is extended by you sliding. So if you can slide chain really well, you'll just get through on one flash. You don't have to worry about it. If you don't, then it's going to run out somewhere in the screen, and you just have to hope that you're not in a bad spot when it does. Terrex getting a much, much friendlier drill pattern.
Oh yes. And there we see Prissy on his way into the crystal corridor, getting the crystal warp.
So Prissy did a strat here in Crystal that I should mention. So this strat is standard now. There's a setup, a really easy setup for getting this Crystal Warp that didn't exist until like a few days before the tournament.
Right. Shout out to Baron.
Shout out to Baron Haynes. So what Prissy does here is he actually fires an arrow to kill the guy that kills him after, and so it reduces like 10 frames of lag if you're able to kill him. Apparently it's not that hard. I haven't tried it yet. I'm being lazy, I suppose.
Gotta save those 10 frames.
Hey,
as we know, that's enough time to make a trick free. So
that is true. That is true. You can Anyway, but yeah, gonna go back to B Trigger, but I think Team B Trigger needs to rest on this one.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting because like a lot of times a new strat will come out, like a really big one, but it's not 100% optimized yet, just because it's so new and not a lot of people have looked at it. When Mega Man 5 Refight Skip was found, there was a particular arrow setup, and now there's a different one. And so stuff like that happens. So it's kind of interesting to see when like new tech is discovered, like how it evolves after that. I like Prisii's strat there for killing the tiger. So the old strat was to charge shot that tiger, but your charge won't develop in time because your charge doesn't build up while you're sliding in this game. And so you have to walk a little too long. It was kind of slow. And so a strat was developed to actually shoot that guy with 3 buster shots, which is harder than it sounds because enemies in this game have invincibility frames.
Right.
When you hit him, you can't hit him again for 8 frames. Any shot that hits him after that just gets absorbed, has no effect. So you have to space out 3 buster shots, like while sliding toward him. It's kind of tricky. Prisiii made it a little easier with a jump at the end, as opposed to just sliding off the ledge, which I think is just a bit slower, but probably a lot more consistent. Terrex done with 4. Moving on to 5, getting ever closer to his favorite game.
That's right. DarkTerrex, a Mega Man 6 runner. One of only a handful in the tournament. And there we see those gravity hold strats on this final screen.
Prisiii has a really good napalm fight at his best. We'll see if he's able to replicate it here. Oh, he missed one. Really tight fight, like to try to dodge the missiles, stay far enough away so that he's shooting the missiles and not the napalm. Meanwhile, sneaking all those hits in and not shooting into his iframes, not shooting the wrong way and having a Nadua crystal, which I believe that Nadua probably hasn't missed a crystal in his life, but it gets named after him anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, really one of the more fun fights in Mega Man 5. There's a lot going on in that fight.
And it's fairly low risk, even with everything going on as well. There's not a, it's Napalm Man. He's not likely to get him.
Yeah, you're probably not going to die. It's just optimizing it is, just getting a few frames can mean the difference in like trying to learn a whole new fight.
Right.
Terrex having some fun with the Space Medicine Star. Really kind of awkward stage. Like the speed strats make it look really clean, but casually it's kind of, I don't know.
It's a pretty demanding starting stage for one of these games.
Sure is. I agree. I think probably outside of like Gemini first, you're probably not finding a harder starting stage. A lot of fun to play though. Again, really technical. So with Starman here, your goal is to, when you get your charge ready to try to shoot through his shield like Terrex did there. It's tricky when he's at a certain part of his cycle where he's going to throw his shield at you, because you want to sneak the hit in and then get away from the shield. That's not really easy to do. And then Stone is probably the stage that's the most technical, at least in the robots. There's like 25 places that you can lose time. And like most of the time losses are not big, but they just all add up because there's a lot of things that are not free. You find that in Sliding Mega in general. Just like in 1 and 2, there's some like really difficult tricks, and like movement matters for sure, but there's just a lot of the game that's free because you're just spending a lot of it walking. Whereas, in the Sliding Mega Man games, you're cutting your movement as tight as you can, trying to jump out of slides as late as you can without going over a pit, trying to, tighten your jump up and land on the left edge of things, and then slide as soon as you land. Like, there's just, like, every input matters, and that's, that can lead to some, like, really technical stages.
Right. Not so technical a fight for Stone Man. He's very easy.
Good segue.
Prisiii putting him down very quickly.
Yes, Stone Man is the Toad of this game. He just jumps and jumps.
I do find it somewhat ironic that perhaps the easiest robot master is named Toadman. Considering how dominant a speedrunner Toad is.
Yeah. So Toad and Stone both share something in common, in that they do have another attack that you almost never see. So Stone, you see it right at the beginning of the fight. Stone is Power Stone attack is actually triggered by proximity. So like if you spend the fight close to him, you'll never see it again. But if you actually try to get away from him, you'll see him use it a second time. Whereas in Toad, he has a second attack, which is the Rain Flush that hits the whole screen. But you'll probably never see it because as long as you're hitting him, he just keeps jumping.
Right.
So unless you're just leaving him alone for some reason because you feel bad for him. So Prisii's Chicken Room is dedicated to the commentary team. Thank you, Prissii.
Oh, thank you, Prissii.
And he's making us look good. Thanks.
That's right.
Only thing wrong with that is he didn't get the lucky drop that allows you to arrow over this.
Right.
Oh, here we go. That looks a little low.
Oh, just a bit.
Yeah, that's 1 pixel too low. I think there's like 2 pixels that work, and they're both at like the towards the top of your jump. The reason why that's hard is if you fire it at max height, you won't be able to land on the arrow. So the danger there is putting it too high.
I just realized that in the race submission form for scheduling, we should have included a text field for chicken dedication, chicken room dedication.
Not a bad idea. Prissii does the first half of this fight correctly. Oh, so close. So Power Stone is a terrible weapon.
Yep.
You fire it and 3 stones orbit around you, and you can't, you can't shoot another one until all 3 stones are gone. That said, if you're good, which Prissii was in half of that fight, you can shoot all 3 stones in a specific way where they all hit Charge Man, and then you can fire another one right away, and you don't have to just go into the menu and pick Power Stone again, which is so slow. And he did. It's not easy to do at all. So the fact that he got the first one was really good. But he just barely missed the second one. Still saves a lot of time over the old fight. Terrex doing kind of different strat here of saving 1 arrow for the checkpoint room, and you just zip right through there very quickly. There's actually a lucky drop you can get where you can do the rest of the stage the normal way and then still get the arrow for the checkpoint room there. You don't do it in the normal beat route because you need the letter. Terrex also up the right side. I think people are doing it just to piss me off.
I think at this point that must be it. Oh, we see Prissii falling down there very briefly, but gets right back up, no problem. And here comes the boat skip. All about timing that slide across those 3 arrows that you set up.
Absolutely. Okay, so something a lot of people don't know about going off the screen here. So if you're off the screen, you need to at least be in the background in a way that when the screen tries to scroll, the game sees you, like you're within the boundaries. If you go too far off to the left or the right, the screen will transition, but it won't find Mega Man, and like you won't be there, and so you soft lock.
Yep.
So if you go to the right, like Prissii did there, which you want to because you'll scroll the screen faster that way, you have to make sure. Oh, I just missed 1 shot from the 3 cycle. If the enemies are facing right when they jump in, like you'll see those dolphins jump the way they are, but they'll be facing right instead of left, which is really weird. They're like jumping backwards. But yeah, all the enemies will be facing right instead of left. If you're doing that, then you're too far right, and you'll go off the screen. Like you'll soft lock when you transition. When you are behind the screen, you can't just walk normally. The only way you can move is by jumping or sliding. So that's how you like move yourself left and right behind there. It's like jump and then move in the air, or like slide.
And that is how, if you want to do the boat skip, which isn't the most demanding trick in the history of the world, you will avoid soft locks now. So thank you.
Did I miss a crystal skip fail on Terrex's stream?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I missed.
Got the ammo.
I don't know if. Oh yeah.
You have too much health, Terrex.
Yeah, way too much. Yeah, Now he'll have to try to...
Yeah, he got the ammo he was looking for, but he forgot that he needed to get down to...
When you run out of ammo, is it... I mean, at that point, you should probably just go through the stage as long as you're comfortable with it, wouldn't you say? I mean, the cost of the time to try to refill that ammo is probably detrimental, more so than going through the stage.
If you're comfortable with it, you definitely should probably do the stage.
It's a demanding stage.
It'll be faster.
Sure.
If you're not comfortable with Crystal Man stage, the stage can take you like 10 minutes to beat.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do.
Yeah, all these crystal drops here, they can be super trolly. You have to wait for the dispenser to fall, or, as you see Terrex wisely do right there, going with the Star Crash strats to avoid taking damage as he jumps through unscathed.
I know Terrex from Bingo is familiar with how to go through every stage, at least somewhat. So like he'll be able to get through Crystal Man stage, and that'll be better than trying to farm. Your other option obviously is to take a game over, which depending on
yeah, that's not very fast.
Yeah, so in this case, Terrex had 4 extra lives.
Right.
So
oh yeah, it's not happening.
And so that's probably going to be slower.
Meanwhile, Prisiii on his final game here, making quick work of Waveman and on to Windman, kicking off Mega Man 6. No sliding or no jumping out of slides in this one. So that's a little bit of a difference coming out of 3, 4, and 5. We'll see how Prisiii deals with it.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people see that as a huge detriment to this game, and they can't really get into it because of that. I think 6 is probably. I mean, 6's movement is more technical than the other 5.
Oh sure.
So how you feel about that is up to you. But there's other than maybe 3, you're probably not making more inputs in any other game than this one because of just having to cancel slides and jump and the double tap to try to do the A cancels and stuff like that. It's a very active game. It feels clunky at first, but I think the more comfortable you feel with the movement, the more you kind of appreciate it as a speed game, I think. So Prisii's going to try to get to the right wall here. He's a little far from it. I'm not sure how close you have to be to the wall to actually save time with that. So there's a lag reduction strat, which is, I mean, this is just classic Mega Man 6, where like if you just run against the right wall as a boss explodes, it like reduces lag for some reason. Not the left wall, just the right one.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're at the right wall, it's a no-brainer. Just like walk against it. If you're like in the middle, it's probably like it's going to cause more lag to slide to the wall. He was kind of in that like midway point that I'm not really sure. Like I haven't really seen like what exactly saves time. Flame's a great stage. I know Chelny always talks about that. I'm a big fan. This is my favorite in this one.
Yeah, a lot of very
a lot of it is because there's a lot of full slides in it, but you know.
Right.
So, in this screen of Napalm Man that Terrex is in, those guys actually will one-shot you. The drills there, they're not normal enemies. And as Terrex was trying to, fire buster shots into them, they actually take 3 hits, but because of the Mega Man 5 iframes, you can't just smash into them. And so it's kind of tricky. You saw Terrex ended up with 3 drills spawning, and if you do it with good enough movement, you can get 2. Man, the bad part about this flame stage, and also the good part, is that these guys can just throw flames at you or not throw flames at you, and it really changes how the stage plays. Like you can lose a lot of time to RNG. That said, because
Terrex taking a death.
Not quite getting across there. There's a lot of lag. It's tempting to try to jump too early. It's a really, really laggy room, especially that end section.
Oh no, not getting that jump there.
Oh man.
Might have been a situation where he slid in while he's trying to jump. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
I didn't see a slide. I don't know.
Just landed on the spikes, one way or the other.
End of Napalm's a kind of a rough place to die.
Yeah.
Because you run out of gravity hold, which you rely on pretty heavily for this section, unless you use the crazy crystal strats. But like these guys are really hard to avoid, and they do a lot of damage. You can see Terrex just kind of getting beat up here a little bit. And then like the shrapnel follows, and you can't kill the shrapnel. But he should have enough health here.
And had just enough gravity to get rid of that first cup and ball enemy.
Yeah. There's 2 cup and ball enemies.
There's 2.
What's the enemy design in this game?
Someone had a cup and ball toy in the office, and that was their design doc.
Different inspiration.
They're we want to make Mega Man 5, but we're not sure how to proceed for coming out of Mega Man 4. I got this cup and ball. Let's do that.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not one of those marble things on strings that go back and forth and hit each other.
Right.
It's okay, all right. They didn't even try with this enemy design. I think my favorite enemy design in 6 is the curlingers or whatever.
Cool. Yes.
Little curling pucks there in Blizzard. For some reason.
I think Blizzard is the best stage because you get. Well, I mean, ice physics actually work to your advantage for much of this game, and especially if you're not as comfortable. All right. If you're not as comfortable with sliding, you can kind of keep that momentum going a little bit better, and you get to fight Blizzard Man at the end of it. And Blizzard Man is the perfect robot master. It's a robot master with skis and ski poles. What's not to love? You see, Prisiii not going for the bomb jump there. It's a bit of a hassle to go back to that previous checkpoint if you missed it, so discretion being the better part of valor here. And he is into the fight with Blizzard Man. And down goes Blizzard Man. In the left corner as opposed to the right.
Are we back?
Hello.
Awesome. Sometimes I'm amazed that my internet even works in the first place.
It does seem ironic that this person who relies so heavily on internet for, all their great good works in speedrunning, does not have internet worth a damn.
Yeah, it's very
I feel like someone should make that happen for you. I don't know who, but I feel like an ISP should get in contact with you and sponsor you or something.
Good internet coming soon.
That's right.
2020.
It's soon in the history of the world.
All good things are happening in 2020. Don't worry
yeah, of course. It's on the Plant Man now for Prisiii.
Prisii's having a very good run.
Yes, he is only 53 seconds behind his PB.
Which is the second best time.
Yeah, that's right.
So, not too bad. This is on 143 pace, which we've only seen once so far in the tournament.
That's right. By the guy I'm talking to right now.
Hey. I also have a 149, so
Oh yeah, I know, that's terrible. Me with my 157 PB over here.
Just saying, consistency's not been my strong suit. Okay,
and that's one of the.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, we got the platforms coming up right here. Oh, but except Prisii's nope. No thanks.
This is the one dangerous strat that Prisiii just refuses to do for some reason. The thing about the platforms is a death in this screen can cost you close to a minute. It's so
bad. It's a terrible checkpoint.
Definitely understand anybody that doesn't go for that. That's. I only go for that if you're stupid or, really feel confident in it. I'm stupid. Terrex will go for it because he's confident in it.
Yeah. Six frames for the platforms, though, so.
I love Twitch's new thing of ads that have sound that you can't turn on.
Yeah, you can't mute, yeah. Isn't that great?
Awesome.
Especially when they start with a scream.
I never wanted to be an ad block person. It's
yeah, exactly.
I know this is how they make part of their money. I'm good with it. But then when you put stuff like that in my face, you're just really testing my resolve.
It's a betrayal of trust in a way, really. That when you shouldn't expect to be blasted in your ear holes with just the most loud, obnoxious garbage. It's one thing to deal with the ad, but it's another thing to like have it kind of shoved down your throat in a lot of ways.
I didn't see if there was a dedication on this chicken room, but I'm hoping it was not to the commentary team.
Right.
I'm sorry, Terrex. I love you. That's a really hard screen, really hard technical screen. Fun, really fun, but yeah, it kind of takes advantage. Like most of Mega Man 5's most fun screens take advantage of the fact that the enemies have iframes, and so like the way you have to space your shots on the chickens is really kind of interesting and unique. It's like a challenge you get in this game that you don't get in the other ones. And that's like at their best. A lot of these Mega Man speedruns function so well because they're so different from each other. And so when you get screens that kind of take advantage of those unique traits that these games have, like that's where these games really kind of develop characters. Speedruns.
We should point out too that
Chicken Room is dedicated to Spike Wall.
Oh, very good.
All right, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for passing that along from Terrex, who I'm sure said that.
We should point out that Prissy is on White Hat's favorite stage right now, going through Tomahawk Man.
Good
Using
stage.
It's a great stage, yeah.
The first screen of Tomahawk is one of the hardest things to do correctly in the entire game, as far as I'm concerned.
It's very demanding, especially if you're using Buster. You have to get 6 shots on the Coltons. And doing that without taking damage and constant movement is, as you say, very demanding.
So Prissy lost a jump right before the Met Machine there, and I want to point out something about Mega Man 6 and why that happens and why it kind of sometimes feels so clunky. And that's, if you're walking and then you let go of the D-pad, the next frame your jump will get eaten. So you always want to kind of jump while moving. Like the more you stop, the more you're actually feeding into that and causing like potential eaten inputs. And so that's why, like, at first it feels really clunky, but then as your movement gets better, it doesn't feel that way because you're not suscepting yourself to that because you're always in movement. It's kind of like how you deal with ice physics. Like, ice physics are fine as long as you keep moving, but if you're trying to, constantly change directions. Like, you see Prissy here, like, as he's walking away from Tomahawk and jumping back, he's not stopping. He's, like, going in a full, like, circular motion. That's, like, a really good idea for boss fights where you have to be turning around a lot. If you talk to the longtime Mega Man 6 runners, they'll say they don't notice it or it's not a thing or whatever. But it definitely is. If you're trying to pick up that game, like you need to learn like how to not get your jump inputs eaten.
Oh, Terrex going for the super arrow climb with the bubbles and that very final little bubble.
It's such a bummer because like we saw him practicing that before this started.
Right.
And he hit it like I don't even know, 90% of the time. Easy.
Right.
And then you get to the run and you don't.
Yeah.
Like we all know that as speedrunners. Like.
Yep.
It's like, come on, this is easy. I go for this because this is easy.
Right.
I know I can do it, and then you get there and you don't do it. And then people are like, you should just cut that strat out. It's costing you too much time. It's like, no. I know I can do this. You've not seen my practice. Trust me, I can do this. But yeah, I think that's something that just like everybody has experienced. It just practice is just not the same as runs.
No, definitely not. I mean that's what it comes down to. It's one thing to do a practice in a trick in practice, but if it's not happening in a run, then it's not happening.
Jimmy, I'm gonna say that Blizzard Man is your favorite level.
I mean, I guess by default it would be. If not, I always forget 5-2 in.
Yeah, that's
the ice one in 5. Yeah, I know that. I just don't remember if it's 5-2 or 5-3. I forget the stage numbers in Ninja Gaiden 2. Apologies, Jimmy. It's been a minute for me.
So Terrex killing the mini boss in the boat. For some people, it's actually easier to kill them in the boat because you're always facing right. And so like when you jump backwards, you can still maintain firing at him. The thing is that you can't. First of all, you can't slide to kind of manipulate his bullets a little better. Second, you lose the charge shot you get, which is 2 extra free damage at the start of the fight. So there's advantages to both. Obviously, it's just faster to skip the boat, but yeah, for the purposes of that fight, some people actually find it easier.
I want to ask you a question. Prissy seemed to do that Yamato fight without taking damage, which I'm pretty sure is impossible.
I didn't see it. Like, I honestly didn't see it. It must not have happened.
Okay, so we're gonna do hacks or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you say it, maybe. I didn't see it. I don't think it's possible.
A gold Yamato Man stage, and it looks like Prissy is just creeping that time down little by little.
Someone needs to point out to Prissy how hard it is to see gold splits against his background. And so
It's
you either tell him to
rough.
stop getting so many gold splits or to change his background.
Yeah. Either or. You know,
whatever.
Up to you.
Whatever works better for you, Prisiii.
Sure.
So Terrex on to 6. Can you imagine this being your main game? You have to play an hour and a half worth of other games that are not your favorite game to get there?
I feel fortunate in that I know just enough about Mega Man 6 that I feel comfortable playing it when I get there. It's like, oh, after 5, like, oh, okay, now I can relax a little bit. And I imagine for a lot of people, 6 is the least played, and that's a complete rude awakening for them. There's definitely an advantage to finally getting through this and then breathing that sigh of relief knowing that you're finally home.
See what kind of checkpoint room Prisiii goes for here. This is a really difficult room to do fast.
Yeah.
And he's not cutting out any slide cancels. The slide cancels there are a little dangerous because if the enemy drops a refill, it'll probably eat your slide input just because of the timing of it. And so you need to react pretty quick to not have that happen. Good Madner room. Killed them both. He didn't do the second Raiden there. We call Raiden slides. Anytime you have like that length platform there, like the one with the multiple healths on it. Those platforms exist everywhere in Mega Man 6, and if you land on the left edge of them, you can do a full slide and jump out at the end without having to cancel, which is always faster. And so, yeah, there's 2 of those in the so-called Mad Nerd room. I want to see Terrex do a slide across this last fan here. Actually, so you can, it's like a really brand new strat. You can like slide across one of those fans and then like cancel your slide and jump, and it saves a very small amount of time for the extra risk you're putting yourself under. But I want to see the Mega Man 6 players start doing it.
So it is down to Prisiii, and it is down to Centaur Man. A bit of an underwhelming conclusion to these races, Centaur Man being as easy as he is. But his stage has some fun little quirks to it.
Stage is pretty hard, and yeah, there's a lot of time-saving strats here. So that Prisiii doesn't go for the so-called miracle jump,
right?
He actually just jumps up and takes a D-boost, which is fine. There's a in my opinion, even better way where you can kind of delay your movement and then you can just do a Raiden slide, a full slide, and jump out. You don't have to worry about a cancel. You don't have to worry about weird physics. You see a lot of people switch to Night Crusher and do that for this room. Prisiii goes for the Buster strats here, which actually look way cleaner. And then you have this room, which is like, you have, you know, it's a bunch of full slides, and then you have this D-boost, and then you slide across the spikes. Like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of places you could die, for sure. And then water physics in 6 are a little different than water physics in the previous games, in that you're not quite as floaty, so it's easy to leap jump short into the spikes.
I still, after all this time, whenever I see a runner bypass an E-Tank or an extra life, I feel a little bit of pride that they're so confident in the game, like, nope, don't need it.
Yeah.
Of course, that was like oh my god, an E-Tank dropped, and when you're a child, you know, going through casually, it's like, this is the greatest day of my life, I got a random E-Tank.
Mr. Streamer, you forgot the E-Tank.
Right.
So, Prisiii getting close to finishing here. Unless he has the worst Centaur fight of all time. This is probably 143.
We see it officially in Race Spot, but we will wait to update you when the video is caught up.
Terrex feeling pretty confident to go into this Blizzard fight with, I think, 7 health. He'll be fine. Like, he's comfortable enough with Blizzard. But this is not the type of decision I would make. I would have jumped a little higher to save damage.
Official race bot time of 1:43.39 for Prisiii. Congratulations to him. Oh crap, I don't have the other time up.
By the way, Terrex seems to be deciding to just do Mega Man 6 Buster only, which, you know, more power to him. But yeah, 140. What'd you say? 143.
1:43, 39 was the official
39.
race spot time.
Great time for Prisiii. He's definitely a contender to win this whole thing.
Oh yes.
Certainly one of the favorites. And again, just his first run was a 144, second run a 143. So if you go by average time, he's looking to be seeded number 1 in the brackets. Like if it ended right now, he definitely has the best average time.
It looks like Terrex has his mic on, even though it's up.
Oh, you went to Blizzard instead of Flame. Okay.
Oh, I wasn't crazy.
I thought maybe I missed Flame.
I thought I must have because it's Terrex. So I just assumed I was like, oh, okay, well he already did Flame.
He knows where Flame is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. What can happen? So in Mega Man 6, like this stage select will wrap. So like if you go up and right or up and left or whatever,
yeah,
and then push right or left again, it'll actually wrap.
Exactly.
Across. So that's possibly what happened.
Oh, and for that to happen in his game too, that's super frustrating. So we talked about that mismenuing, and there you go. There's an example of it. And we'll see. We'll get some music going here because, like I said, it looks like Terrex. Even though his mic is off his face, I think he's got a few choice words that he's mixing in there. So we'll let him be with that. But congratulations to your winner of this race, Prisiii, posting only the second 1:43 time in the tournament so far. The first was just earlier tonight by Mr. Facet CC right here.
It's gonna be some fun races when we get into single elimination brackets.
Oh yes,
it's gonna be some really fun races.
I have kind of tried to look in my crystal ball, so to speak, and seeing what is ahead for us. And after that initial round, it is nothing but highlight match after highlight match. It's going to be a really amazing conclusion to this tournament.
Right. You know, we've seen some people that are known for one game and have tried to pick up the rest and done an admirable job of it. So you're seeing a lot of matchups where you have a difference in PVs of 15 minutes up to an hour, or maybe even more than that. And so pool play is sorting all that stuff out. And I've gotten familiar with a lot of new runners, which is awesome.
Right.
A lot of people picking up Mega Man. A lot of really cool streamers. And so, but as the tournament goes along, you're just going to start getting people that are a little more evenly matched. You're going to see some like screen for screen type of races over 100 minutes. So that's kind of cool.
And you talked about too, like the fact that these runners that maybe folks were not as familiar with, now stepping into the light of the community a little bit more, and that's really a lot of what the tournament's about as well. Not just cross-pollinating and getting people more into some of the Mega Man games that they aren't as into, and getting everyone playing all of them, but introducing new faces into the community as well, who may have been in it, but were a little bit more under the radar. So
yeah, for sure,
it's really cool to see that happening.
Yeah, I saw the same thing from the Mega Man 2 tournament. Just a lot of people, that are part of the community now, kind of got their start there. They weren't Mega Man runners before, so I love these things. Things like this that just bring the community together are a lot of fun. Shout outs to everybody that's put so much work into putting this all together. I don't know how you Feasel, Chelny, there's a lot of the people that have done the commentaries as well. Just put so much time into this.
There will be more thanks given out later, but special shout outs to
Cab as well has done a lot of restreams.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you see him in chat for a minute. Hopefully his game went well tonight. But I have to, at any moment I get the chance, to give massive praise to Feasel, who never sleeps. And he is the straw that has stirred this tournament's drink. Yeah. So great thanks to him, and to everyone who's done commentary, everyone who's done restreaming. There will be more eloquent thank you speeches down the line. But oh, look at the 6-hit.
Not only does Terrex get platforms, but gets 6-hit cycle as well. This is a Mega Man 6 runner right here.
That's right.
So, okay, I was testing platforms in emulator right before this
Yes.
started.
Yes.
I was feeling there was something a little off about the numbers I'd been hearing, because to me it always seems safer to be walking on them. Like you want to be moving as you jump. So when I was moving, I always noticed a consistent 6-frame window. When I was not, like if you just jump straight up and down without any left or right input, sometimes you get a 6-frame window. Sometimes you get a dead frame in there. You'll get 1 good frame, 1 bad one, and then 4 good frames. So technically, it's more of a 4-frame window, but that's not always that. But I never noticed that when I was moving. So it's such a simple thing to say, oh, it's a 4-frame window or it's a 6-frame window. Like there's a sometimes dead frame that you get, which is why sometimes you die and you're like, I really thought I got that.
Is that more common on that second platform that you would normally jump off of? Because it seems to me that, in my experience at least, and we saw this earlier when Slurpee went for a platform, he fell off that second one, and that seems to be the one that I predominantly will fail on if I'm going to fail on one of them. So I don't know if it's related to an individual platform or what.
When you say the second one, do you mean the one before or after you kill the fish?
Well, no. So you jump onto the normal platform, like the in-ground platform, where there's a turret and then there's a flying enemy, and you kill them with one shot. And then you jump onto one that's free, because if you fall off, you just land on a platform.
Right.
And then then you go onto the next one after that, where there would be a fish.
Okay, so that's the one that, because you have to jump straight up and down on it to kill the fish, you're I think that gives you the potential to get that dead frame. That's at least what I was finding, because that's the most common one that I see myself failing as well. And so I was actually kind of trying to practice like jumping off it while moving, and then like kind of circling back around so that like I continued my movement, which actually works pretty well, but it also creates like a lag opportunity too, because you're leaving the fish alive a little longer. By the way, props to Prisiii for a 143 when his race started at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, huge shout-outs to both these runners for, it started over an hour after its scheduled time, and it would have been very easy for them to want to cancel, want to reschedule, but they toughed it out. We had these 3 races back-to-back to back, and I can't say enough good things about the folks who've been lenient with their scheduled times in order to make all the restreams happen. I believe every single match, 60 matches in the first round, we still have a few more to go, but I believe every single match has been restreamed so far.
That is incredible.
It's
really
kind of impossible to imagine when you think of it like that.
Yeah, that's incredible. So yeah, great job to everybody for just, man, some people are just on call and they're just stepping up every time. But yeah, the European and the Japanese runners like trying to accommodate a mostly American schedule.
Yeah, we should point that out. We are spanning, I believe, 3 continents with this race, and something like 8 different countries. So
it's got to be at least 4, because we have
right.
North and South America, and then Europe and.
Oh, that's right, South America too. I didn't even think about that. So 4 continents, yeah. So this is truly a world tournament right here. Anyway, we're kind of just missing. Oh my goodness! I've lost my mind. Ohone, duh. Just the name escaped me there. We're like, that's kind of the only 46 RM runner that at that really top tier that didn't make it. And now, and we see him again, like really drilling that lately a bit. So it's cool to see that as well. No Antarctica, no, I'm sorry. And I don't believe anyone's from Africa.
DarkTerrex. Let's see it. If you mess this up, I'll never get a correct Yamato fight, because I'm learning from you right now. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, I'll try to copy that, Terrex.
There you go.
You
want to avoid the Yamato spears. Okay, see, that was my failure.
I did not get the concept until right now.
Right.
Now the light bulb just came on. That last hit that he got, when he jumped in the air and then he just went to the wall to reduce the lag, that was pretty impressive. Just let him with the tomahawk.
We should point out that at least coming into Mega Man 6. And, of course, he did have that route variation where he went to Blizzard before Flame. But it looks like Terrex might just barely be on pace to save sub 2.
Yeah. I mean, he should get his sub 2. Well, we'll see what happens here, but I'm gonna be slammed with commentators' curses if he doesn't. But
I'll take that one. That one's on me. He does have a 157 PB though, so he's drilled that down pretty significantly since the start of seeding for this tournament.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, Terrex is one that has absolutely been putting time into these games. Yeah, we had a 46 Robot Master Tournament without Ohan, and we had a Mega Man 2 tournament without Elo.
Well, yeah, but of course it wasn't going to feature Elo. That's not his deal. He did do the big race though, so that was cool.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I like the idea of the match after.
I didn't want to say it aloud because now people are going to be expecting that, but I would very, very much like to have that actually happen.
You ever played Dusty Diamond's All-Star Softball?
Yeah, sure, of course.
At the end, you face the Amazons. You beat everybody. There's just always like that's such an NES thing to like, you know, have the super boss at the end, like after you win your tournament or your league. But yeah, I'm impressed that as many people signed up as they did, because like it really is like just pretty much all the heavy hitters are here.
I honestly, when I put the thing together and spoke with Feasible about it, we put together the challenge. I was like 16 people will sign up.
Yeah.
You know, like 8 people who are really, really good, and then like 8 people that are like, I've played these games before, and nope, we got 40 people all told when it came down to close the signups. A few more had signed up, but then, you know, reach out to them, hey, are you still interested in doing this? Oh, I hadn't had a chance to practice, or they didn't get back to me, or whatever. So that's incredibly gratifying that so many people committed to and indeed did this. So that's very cool to see.
Other than the wrong stage select, Terrex is just
he's doing Mega Man 6 things, yeah.
Pretty much just breezing through this game. He makes it look really easy. He just doesn't struggle with a lot of the things that I see most people struggle with in this game. Okay,
that's on you. That's your curse right there. He makes it look easy, immediately walks into a pit.
Terrex, come on, Terrex.
And twice.
They don't call it Miracle Jump for no reason.
That's true.
I want someone to time the standard like slide cancel Miracle Jump versus the like completely free Raiden jump, and see like what the time difference is. It cannot be that much, and it's like a 100% free. I guess I could time it, but
yeah, you were doing that earlier. Come on.
Fun. It's more fun when
it's always good to delegate duties. Yes,
right.
I can assure you of this.
So, Prissy, we saw do the Buster strats to this room. Terrex, you see going through with Night Crusher.
Right.
I've found Night Crusher to be easier. I tried to learn both, but it's really just what you're most comfortable with. I think the different strats in this stage really don't add up to a ton of time. What he did there with the second Night Crusher is really easy to do. Where like you want to fire 2 straight and then slide, but to throw the second one diagonally down and miss is like a really common mistake. So people have different strats for that room depending on like how much Night Crusher they have left too. I think by doing the Buster strats in the beginning, you have more. Oh, he's going for the ladder jump. You have more to use on the clouds there, and like the more of those guys you can kill, like at least 2 of them, I think, help to reduce lag. Okay, let's see what kind of centaur pattern we get. Is he gonna break 159? Boss intro just eats up so much of this time. You might need a no teleport. Too late.
Oh, 159 exactly on the unofficial time. Let's see what EraseBot has. 1:59:02, the official race bot time
so close.
for DarkTerrex.
Sub 2.
Sub
Good
2
on
for
Terrex.
both racers. Yeah, excellent job by both racers. Congratulations again to Prisiii. Only the second 1:43, and the first one was the race immediately before this by Mr. Fastest TC. So
things are getting serious. We're getting
Yeah,
close to bracket rounds. It's time for people to bring their A game.
that's right. People are drilling down. People are refining all their strats, picking up new strats if they need to, getting everything polished to a mirror sheen. And we're down to the last few days here in pool play. Coming up, starting, I guess officially Sunday, although there might be a little bit of bleed over from pool play. We are gonna start scheduling these knockout round matches, and that's when we're gonna see the serious races. So stay tuned for that. Of course, tomorrow we will have more continued coverage of the Mega Man 46 Robot Masters Tournament. For myself, I want to say thank you, Fast, for joining me, and it was a pleasure.
It's always fun. Always enjoy doing these.
And we will see you all next time. I don't think I can host anyone, so I'll just let me pick out someone to at least link you to, and la. Who's online right now? If you have anyone, Fast,
Let me take a look.
sure.
By the way, thanks everybody for supporting this tournament. It's been a lot of fun, and it's cool to see so many people have interest in it.
Yeah, I want to echo that as well. It's really cool to see so many people throughout all of the matches each day tuning in and being excited for the tournament.
We have Colonel Fatso doing Mega Man 4.
Oh, well, there it is, right there.
He commentated the one right before him, so
Yes, he
can
did.
show him a little love back.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of commentary throughout, so we appreciate his efforts throughout that. So go here and be generous with your rating. I don't have a message because I'm terrible at raid messages, but go say hi. How about that? So for Fast, I'm Enemy. Thank you so much for watching tonight. We will pick up coverage tomorrow at ... Where is my schedule? At 7 p.m. is the earliest scheduled match for tomorrow. We will see if maybe an earlier match crops up. But if not, we'll see you back here on Speed Gaming at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, see ya!
Thanks, everybody.